Hi, and welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today is Thursday, so my buddy Johnny Litecoin's joining us, and he's been doing some videos talking about health and wellness and peptides. So I just wondered, like, do maxis need peptides? We're gonna ask him right after this. Give us a like and share the video. Hey, Johnny, great to see you. Thanks for, I missed you last week. I was traveling for my birthday, but so I missed our weekly show. But great to see you back again.
Yeah, great seeing you, Lisa. I missed the show. You guys know I always look forward to this show, and I'm back, guys. I've been rejuvenated. I'm pumped. Not that I wasn't pumped about crypto,
You're
but
usually pumped.
I'm
Yeah.
pumped. But I was just going through a lot in my life, and now I'm kind of like I'm back. So I'm back, full of piss and vinegar, ready to talk peptides, crypto, Litecoin, the Bitcoin halving, what's going on with the ETF. I mean, I'm
There's
really.
so much going on right now. I do want to give a quick shout out to Wildcat Alliance. Is that correct? Is that his handle, Wildcat Alliance? You were on, and I was listening just before this. He was doing a Twitter Spaces, and he's into nutrition and the peptides and being very responsible about all of it as well. So you guys were given some great information. If you guys haven't listened to that Twitter Spaces, it was recorded, so you can go back and listen to Johnny sharing a lot of information on Twitter and the Wildcat
Yeah,
Alliance.
awesome guy. He's super into there was about peptides, but then he's saying his background was a Litecoin ordinal. He hit me up. He's like, Johnny, we have a lot of common interests. Like, I'm really into Litecoin and peptides. I said, you're into Litecoin and peptides. This is like my long lost brother over here. My God,
Yeah.
those are like my two passions. So I'm like, I got to jump in, and I went in, I spit some game about different peptides I'm on and tried out. And, not that I'm a expert of it as much as some people are, but I definitely have a lot of knowledge. I've studied it a lot. I've experimented with a lot of them. I do it in a safe manner. I'm not a cowboy with it. I really take my time with it. I'm a big believer in cycling on and off the peptides. But yeah, so he had an awesome spaces. It was really good to share some info, bring my knowledge of what I know about peptides and different ones I've taken to his chat. He was talking about the sauna, how that's really good for your growth hormone release, and just a lot of different other things you could do to also release growth hormone.
He also gave some cautions, like if you're not healthy, that it can help everything grow. So that's why it was so important. He said to take a blood panel, make sure you
Yep.
don't have any cancers in your body or tumors, because you could be feeding the beast at the same time. Like, I thought he was really responsible about the information he was sharing and knowledgeable, and then bringing you in with all the knowledge that you have as well.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really cool.
He
I also loved his whole homeostasis thing.
Yeah.
Dr. McDaniel talks about that and how important that is, that the body has what it needs. When the body has what it needs, the body heals itself, the body grows, the body. And so he touched on that, and then talked about, like, even some woo-woo, talking about, and to reach enlightenment, we need to have our chakras aligned, like very open-minded, whole health, mind, body, spirit, or soul, all of that. I
Really good dude. I'm definitely going to be collaborating with him a lot more. Really responsible. You hit the nail on the head, Lisa. Growth hormone is great. It's great to release growth hormone, but if your body is not healthy, if you have cancer in your body or something like that, it'll make it grow. So you got to really be careful with how you go about it. And I talked about the half-life of certain peptides. I was talking about that, and different peptides have different. What a half-life is how long it remains active in your body for. Is it so? With growth hormone, how it operates and acts naturally in your body is it's kind of quick releases and bursts. It's not like it stays at an elevated level all day long. Like you release a lot at night when you sleep, when you first go to sleep. So that's why even Uncle Cliff talks about taking GABA. GABA is a great supplement to take. It's a neurotransmitter that helps with that growth hormone release. Even how I said, don't eat sugar at night before you go to bed because that'll interfere with your growth hormone. But you want to really watch the half-life of these things because I'm on a peptide called CJC 1295. And, a lot of people, if they didn't research it, they wouldn't know. That's why it is important for you people out there. You know who I'm talking about. It's important to research this stuff. That's a little bit of a dig at somebody, but
wink, wink. Yeah. I don't know who it is, but you know who it is.
We don't know who that is, but you want to research this stuff because if you just take CJC 1295, you probably would buy one that's with something called DAC. And DAC is put in there to extend the half-life. So the half-life on CJC 1295 without DAC is like maybe like 2 hours. And that's even pretty long for a peptide. Like Sermorelin is like a 20-minute half-life or a 10-minute half-life. Ipamorelin is under 1 hour. And ipamorelin is a really good peptide. Because again, it's the growth hormone.
Every hour?
You don't do it every hour. It's just that growth hormone is designed to pulsate. So it gives you that really good release, like ebbs and flows of it. You don't want it sustained. And that's when cancers will grow. If you get into taking exogenous growth hormone, which is human growth hormone, and your level is elevated all the time, then you're talking about everything growing in your body. You'll get bad stuff to grow as well. So CJC 1295, if you take the one with DAC in it, DAC stands for drug affinity complex, that will extend the half-life to 7 days. That means your level is extended all week long, and that's not good. That's not how growth hormone operates and acts in the body. So he was really responsible, really good dude. He's really into Litecoin. I mean, again, the back of their backdrops were ordinals. So really good dude to follow. Yeah, Wildcat Alliance.
And he's wanting to really level up the was he talking about the NFTs on or the ordinals on? Is it ordinal? He was talking about leveling up something on Litecoin, that they're going to be really leveling up maybe he meant.
It was the ordinals he was talking about doing
ordinals.
Some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Anyway.
So good dude. It was a good spaces to be on, but I'm excited to be here, guys. We have it's a big time in crypto right now with Bitcoin. I would not be trading Bitcoin right now. You have to be insane to be trading Bitcoin right now. You want to be buying and accumulating Bitcoin, and you want to be monitoring the ratios. You want to be monitoring the ratio of Bitcoin to gold, Bitcoin to Litecoin, maybe Bitcoin to silver, Litecoin to silver. Monitor those ratios, hard asset to hard asset. And you want to avoid the fiat manipulation and the fiat, fiat will manipulate you. So you want to really avoid that. You want to make sure you make the right moves right now, but do not be Bitcoin spiked. I would not be getting rid of any Bitcoin in thinking that it's going to dip lower and you could buy back in and get more, because let me tell you what, there's hype right now around this ETF.
Mm-hmm.
Once that gets approved, there's going to be and these companies are going to have to buy. There's not a lot of Bitcoin right now. There's a Bitcoin shortage. Binance shut down withdrawals yesterday. They ran out of Bitcoin.
Well, some of that is that the Bitcoin mining contracts have already pre-bought into the future Bitcoin that hasn't even been mined yet.
Yeah.
That's what people don't even realize, how much of a shortage there really is. Not to mention all the Bitcoin that's been lost,
Yeah.
or sent to a bad address, or I mean, who even really knows at this point? So there's also that the SBF. There's still hearings and trial stuff going on with that, and there is talks about like um them using Tether to manipulate the markets in there. And like, I would just be staying away from all of that dirty
Yeah.
fiat stablecoin crap. I mean, I would be looking at only hard assets, which we believe are Bitcoin, Litecoin, Digibyte, um, the solid,
Gold,
true proof of
silver.
work. Yeah, gold, silver in
You
your
yourself,
possession.
you're a hard asset. If you're on
Copper.
peptides, maybe you're a little bit of a harder asset, but
Yeah.
you're invest in
Your
yourself,
health. Yeah.
your health, your wellness, a skill you have. I mean, there's always going to be skills that are needed. I mean, if you know how to do electrical work, you know how to paint, you know how to do carpentry, you know how to do marble work, granite work. You're good at sales. You're good at this. You're good at that. You're a good artist. World's still going to go on. So whatever new system they create, we still need people to do these things. So
And
those
we
are,
need manufacturing and creating things, because we have not been building stuff here in America for a very long time. That's how they destroyed the middle class, was they shipped or exported the middle class to China. And I believe those doors are being shut off. Sarah Huckabee is kicking that big Chinese company out of Arkansas, forcing them to sell their land or property. And I think more and more states are going to follow suit. And that's going to cause us to be in this situation where, well, we're not going to be so friendly with this, where our Navy has kept the oceans safe for them to ship things over here to us from their cheap labor force. Well, we're going to be needing to build stuff here in America. And it's an opportunity for, like, it's really exciting if you think about it. Like, it's that kind of industrial revolution, but in the new industrial revolution, where we could build stuff in America again. Maybe are really into fashion, and you could create like a new line of clothing out of America. Or you're really into, like you said, art or guns. They just opened a college program at one of the colleges close by us, about building, and I can't remember the proper term for building guns, but there's now a program to teach people how to build and create guns. You could start your own business doing something like that, because we're going to have to start building stuff here.
I agree. Globalization is ending, I think. And
I think
yeah. And it should. I mean, look, I'm all about currency that works all over the world, because I feel like we haven't had good currency. If we had a good currency that was backed by hard assets, and that was a currency for we the people, that was what it's defined in the Constitution, then I'd be all about a national currency, a real dollar. We haven't had a constitutional dollar since they got rid of the Morgan dollar. That was the last time we had a constitutional dollar. Even when we had junk silver, a lot of people collect junk silver. That wasn't constitutional money, because if you take 4 quarters and you add them up, it doesn't equal the weight in silver that's defined in the Constitution. It was about 10% short. So they started already taking silver away from us with that. So Morgan dollar was the last time they had constitutional money. So yeah, I am all about a currency that works all over the world, that's fair for everybody in the world to use. But we need it to where, hey, I'm an American, I'm going to use it in America. But it's a currency that's fair, so all the people of the world have access to it, and it's something that's uncorruptible. You can't mess with that. You can't mess with that monetary policy. That's why Bitcoin is so important. I put a video out today explaining that Bitcoin's an invention. Bitcoin,
a technology.
it's a technology, and we can't get mad at people for not buying Bitcoin. I hear people say, oh, man, my friend won't buy Bitcoin. This person won't buy Bitcoin. Well, that's like getting mad at someone for saying, hey, you don't have enough in your savings account. You don't have money saved. I don't know if you're behind on your rent. I don't know if your car is about to get repoed. I don't know if you can put food on your table. So for me to tell you to buy Bitcoin without knowing your financial situation, that's really would be me being out of line and unfair.
Sure.
But to tell you, hey, why don't you take a couple minutes just to understand what this is? And then if people say, no, most people don't have the attention span for them. They walk away from you. I know what it is. No, you don't know what it is. Tell me what it is. I don't need to tell you what it is. They tell you and they get very angry, very defensive. And I have a problem with those people because, again, you're not looking at it the right way. And I like the world the way it used to be. I always admit that. I grew up in a better world, I feel like, better times. But we need to shape this digital age so it works for us. We're not stopping the digital tidal wave that's coming at us. We need currency that works for us in a digital world. They're only inflating away the fiat that we use. We're over 33 trillion in debt. The Federal Reserve speaks and it moves the markets. Quantitative easing, quantitative tightening, moving of the interest rates. It's not the best interest of we the people. So we need currency that works for we the people. I hope that these bastards have to settle into Bitcoin at some point in time. Yeah, I would hope the United States system uses Bitcoin as the ultimate settlement layer. Let us actually audit them and see what these maniacs and lunatics are doing.
For governments, for big governments, because then there would be transparency for we the people. But then we the people could transact in whatever freedom you choose. And if you want to be in Litecoin,
let us have freedom. We have Mimblewimble, which is known as MWeb on the Litecoin blockchain. That gives us freedom to transact. But ultimately, I like that Bitcoin is transparent, that you could see everything. And I hope that at the end of each day, kind of like what happens now in the Federal Reserve System, everything has to clear, that one big giant transaction from all financial institutions, all individuals would have to go back into some system that settles into the Bitcoin blockchain. And then if it doesn't settle, we the people can take further action against our government. Why is it not settling out? Why are you being irresponsible with our money? We would have real accountability then. We think we're 33 or 34 trillion in debt. Catherine Austin Fitts and I think maybe Mark Skidmore, they audited what's going on. This was a few years ago. They found another 21 trillion in missing money.
And that was years ago. Where are we now?
Bix talks about the derivative bomb going off. I think he says it's a $2 quadrillion derivative bomb that exists out there. So where are we at? I always thought that the reason we were in the masks was because of the whole repo market blowing apart in 2019. September 17th, 2019, the United States financial system failed. Bix Weir called it to the week. He was leading up to that saying what was going to happen on that exact week. And sure enough, it happened. And then life went on.
But they found a way to kick it down the road one more time.
And coincidentally, the reason we were in the masks, the sneeze, as people call it, that whole debacle fixed a few things for them. They needed to create a lot of currency, and they needed to slow down the velocity of money. They needed a phenomenon to happen that can't happen in normal life. They needed to stop the economy and then create currency at the same time. And that can't happen in a normal world. And that kind of fixed what what was going on. Then they rewrote the laws behind the scenes. That was a grab at our freedom. And I talked about it a couple weeks ago. Keep your eyes out for a Patriot Act 2.0. That's coming.
Well, that's what they're shoving down the throats in the EU right now. Is this oh God, what do they call it? Digital, do they call it Digital Privacy Act or digital? Oh crap. Sean was talking about it this morning on World Blockchain Roundtable, and it's some kind of it's basically taking your First Amendment rights. It's a censorship mechanism in the EU or in Europe. I'll do more research on it and have more for everybody
Maybe we'll
tomorrow.
talk about it next week, our thoughts on it.
Yeah, or next week. Yeah, but they're coming for your, I mean, we saw a push for 2A to take 2A away. They're going for the First Amendment. Like we think we get censorship, on social media now. They're trying to take it away from like public speaking.
Yeah.
Like
they want you to think it's bad. They want you to think privacy is bad. They want you to think all this stuff is bad. It's all a ruse. They want you to think you're a domestic terrorist if you reference the Constitution. That's sick. I've seen that in paper. Yeah. Oh, these people, because I referenced the Constitution, which our founding fathers set up for us. So we always have something to kind of like
which goes back and refers to our God-given rights. How is that? It highlights our God-given rights and pushes back on big government.
Yeah.
How does that
They warned us about this. They are rolling over in their graves right now. They warned us about the banking system and a central bank grabbing too much power. They warned us about big government. This is all stuff they did not want. It's supposed to be a small government for the people, by the people. And we're in a really perverse society right now. And it's not, it's only getting worse. They have everybody manipulated. Kyle, Nakamoto Standard. He's a really good guy. Really follow him. He's a really great guy. Really doing great things for Litecoin. He's
the 84million.com. Is that right?
Yeah, he's that. Yeah. He's just he does a podcast. He does, he has a shop that he does. He's just, work for Litecoin, talking about Litecoin, promoting Litecoin. He's just a great human being, great spirit. So definitely follow him. But we were talking before a little bit in Twitter about how we're in a world of no attention span. And that's the problem with people understanding that Bitcoin is an invention. It is a technology, and it's a really important invention. And people can't even take a few minutes to understand it and listen to somebody about it. Most people I try to explain it to, there is some people that say, I want to know about it. And again, now if somebody says they want to know about it, give them a quick pitch on it. Don't bore them to death for hours. You got to give them a few key things so they can wrap their mind around it. But if they don't want to even hear that, then.
So there's this, I found this cartoon series. It's called the Tuttle Twins. And I've been using it in my homeschooling. Their website, when you go to their website, TuttleTwins.com or Tuttle Twins, whatever, it says, are your children being brainwashed? And then they have books, they have videos, they have all this stuff. They talk about free markets. They're talking about decentralization. They talk about how money was created, what happened to money. They have a 3-minute video on what is Bitcoin. And if you can get people, I had a friend that I've known for, I don't know, over a year now, finally send me the ask. Lisa, can you tell me about Litecoin and Bitcoin? Why should I buy cryptocurrency? Because eggs are $9. That's why. Because it's not the eggs cost anymore. Chickens aren't charging more to shoot an egg out because your dollar is worth less. That's why. And so I have been trying to share like some of this stuff is so cool because it's literally like 3 minutes long. I'm gonna play this just really quick, really quick.
Cool.
Society begins to break.
So, how do we make money that's easy to carry but hard to create?
Well, one solution is Bitcoin. Back in 2008, I became fed up with government money, with the corruption, the manipulation, so I created a digital currency. Digital money that can be sent directly from one person to another without any bank or government involved. And the best part? It's hard money.
It's the hardest money ever invented.
Bitcoin is very hard to make more of. Each new coin gets added to the supply only after a computer works very hard to solve a math problem, where there's no shortcut and solving it costs a lot of energy and time.
Okay, but if it's on a computer, can't I just copy and paste?
Not with Bitcoin. You see, there's a public record of every Bitcoin ever created. It's called the blockchain. It's like a puzzle, and each Bitcoin has its own unique shape. And because everyone has a copy of the public record, if someone tries to fake a Bitcoin, it won't fit the puzzle and will be rejected by the network before anyone can use it. That's why Bitcoin is so safe from criminals and the government.
You said criminals twice.
And unlike dollars, it can be it endlessly. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. It's almost impossible to inflate. The only way to get it is to earn it or buy it from someone who has.
Aha!
No offense, but if you control Bitcoin, couldn't you manipulate it just like the government?
I don't control it. No one person does. It's controlled by a public network of Bitcoin users that anyone can join. So if someone wanted to change something in Bitcoin's code, they would need to get the majority of the millions of Bitcoin users to agree to it, or the change doesn't happen. And when has the majority of us agreed on anything?
One ply toilet paper is garbage.
Touché.
Wow, I didn't know made-up money could make so much sense.
Today, millions of people send Bitcoin instantly and cheaply to each other around the world without any bank or government involved. And because Bitcoin is hard money you can't just print more of, the more people who use it, the more valuable it becomes.
Emily, if we take Lyle's Bitcoin, we could be rich.
I could pay for college entirely. You could outsource your movie and pay to have your name in the credits.
Slow down. I'm not saying that Bitcoin will make you rich quick or even at all. Right now, only about 1% of the world owns Bitcoin. And because it's still being adopted, some days it goes up and even down.
Also, investments, though potentially lucrative, can be risky.
Only invest what you're willing to lose. We know. Wow, I think I get it. Good money should be easy to use, but hard to create.
And because Bitcoin is digital, it's fast and cheap to use. And the blockchain makes it hard to inflate.
Thanks, Mr. Satoshi.
What?
Mr. Satoshi?
He's gone? Or was he ever even here?
Oh, it was pretty cute.
That's
So-
classic. I gotta send that out to a bunch of people. That
I'll
is
send it to
amazing.
you. Yeah. I'll post the link in the description so everybody can share that out. And they have a whole series. I mean, literally talking about conspiracies, free markets. They support free markets. Like this is a really great resource for not just homeschool parents, but all parents. And also to get people, like you said, don't have any attention span. They want to learn, they need to know, but we learn in video now. We've been trained to learn by video, but we don't pay attention.
Yeah,
So
no, we don't.
anyway, I think it's pretty great.
Unbelievable. Wow, that was really, really something. And I love that. And I think that's what the maxis, we mentioned maxis in the title. So I guess we should talk about them a little bit.
Mhm.
That's where they're so warped with. We're about freedom. We're about Bitcoin. Like I tell everyone, buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin's your savings. That should be your largest holding of crypto. And when they all fought me back in when I started doing this about why Litecoin's terrible, this and that, yada, 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 like kind of the use case, right?
Right.
I said the use case is getting away from the banking system. The use case is getting away from the freaking cartel.
Right.
Banking industrial. We want our own system that works, and that's why Litecoin. And where are we now? Fast forward 5 or 6 years later, after I started doing that, we're still right where we started. We're still using all these centralized systems. People are complaining, you know, it's, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. That was the point of Litecoin. It was a way to transact easily and then convert back into Bitcoin if you want Bitcoin. I always said that when you used Litecoin, I was about using Litecoin. I said, hey, a great use case for Litecoin is just using it to send money around and then converting it into Bitcoin. Because it can, and then down the line with that atomic swap that's going to become available, do an atomic swap back into Bitcoin. But even converting it through, like back in the day, used to be Shapeshift. They have Changely, maybe like Simple, or some of these swap services. You know, Litecoin's cheap, so do a swap back into Bitcoin. Do a trade through an exchange if you have to, or send it to PayPal and send yourself back out Bitcoin. It was just about using Litecoin was the use case. And, you know, that's what the maxis, that's my beef with them, because I'm not telling anybody Litecoin's better than Bitcoin. I'm not saying Litecoin is going to be worth more than Bitcoin. I'm just saying it has a good use case and it actually helps Bitcoin become better. The first Lightning Network transaction was done on Litecoin. Lightning Network wouldn't even be a thing without Litecoin, because Litecoin integrated segregated witness first. Segregated witness was an upgrade to the blockchain. Litecoin integrated MWeb. Remember Wimble?
Right.
I'm actually wearing a Taproot hat right now, which is an upgrade to the Bitcoin network.
Yeah.
Litecoin is Taproot too. Taproot made the ordinals possible. So again, it's kind of like football. If you don't want to try to win the Super Bowl with one quarterback, you could say, oh, I have the best quarterback in the world. I don't need another quarterback. That's like Max says, we don't need another quarterback. We don't need another quarterback. Well, you know what's going to happen? If everybody knows you don't have any backup quarterback, you don't have any you don't have any other quarterback at all, they're going to just target your freaking quarterback. They're going to make so you want a good backup quarterback to take you to the Super Bowl, to win the game. Even if you don't have to use them, it's good to have that there, that backup quarterback. Litecoin is the backup quarterback. So I did a funny video the other day. I said, these Bitcoin maximalists, I don't get they have like all these weird, like they're very like cliquey, and it's very like treat people as outsiders, treat people bad.
Threaten their lives.
They brag about eating meat. I said, eating meat. And they make it seem like no one else eats meat but them, this and that. And I said, motherfucker, do I look like I'm eating meat? I said, of course I'm eating meat. I said, I'm just not bragging about eating meat. I said, these people, you don't even see them, and they're bragging about eating meat. I don't need to tell you I'm eating meat. You look at me and you're like, Johnny looks like he's eating some meat, all right? He's got veins coming out of his neck.
That is bizarre. What
It's
a weird statement. Well, and it's just so anti Satoshi or Bitcoin white paper. It's because the white paper talks about freedom. I mean, not in these exact words, but it's putting hard money in the people's, it's transparency. It's, you know, not telling people what to do. It's using free market and transparency, and the just like in the little cartoon, the community decides, but those are by individuals' actions and truth. And for somebody to then say, well, only one thing is good, you know, that's just it's just somebody bizarre. Protecting their bags because they got in early, and you don't want what's best for the whole world. You want what's best for you. And that's not freedom.
And the Litecoin people, out of any cryptocurrency, by and large, like Bitcoin the best.
Sure.
We always talk about, wow, we love that Litecoin's closely compatible and closely related to Bitcoin. That's an advantage.
Sure.
It's not trying to compete, it's making it better. And I tell people you should own more Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the center of this whole thing. You want to look at Bitcoin as your savings account. You want to save in Bitcoin. But to say, hey, never transact in any other crypto is just bizarre.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre.
It
And
doesn't.
it's cult-like. It's very cult-like, and
Mhm.
it's no one's knocking Bitcoin. No one's saying don't buy Bitcoin. No one's saying that Bitcoin's the hardest money ever created. This and that. We agree. No
Yeah.
one, they'll come on my videos and tell me that. I said,
We
"Did you
also
watch
love
it?" I said
Bitcoin.
that.
Yes, we also love Bitcoin. We love
Yes.
there's lots of things we love, but you're also saying there are things that Bitcoin can't solve that we need other projects to do, because saying that Bitcoin is the only answer is saying that there are no other problems in the world, and there are problems in the world that we need to fix and that blockchain could fix. And that's what a lot of these other projects are doing, are
We
coming
have a
up with
privacy
solutions.
problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And coins like Litecoin with MWeb, coins like Monero, they
Have a problem in our judicial system with contracts and
yeah.
things like that. And so that's where like NFTs and smart contracts, stuff like that, will be able to
Yes.
help. And like a bad contract just won't happen, because if
Yeah.
it can't be met, there won't be these liars and thieves and whatever. It just won't happen. It won't complete.
Yep.
So, yeah. It's a bright world ahead. We just have to get there.
We have to get there. We have to stay focused. Don't sell your Bitcoin to BlackRock at 50,000 or 60,000. Don't be an idiot. Bitcoin, let's just talk Bitcoin real quick.
Sure.
There's a Bitcoin shortage out there. The ETF, they're not going to be able to buy over the counter. There's not enough people. All big players buy over the counter. Well, there's only so much Bitcoin over the counter. Once that dries up, they have to buy on the open market. The price is going to keep gapping higher. There might be exchanges that just shut down or just close up for a few weeks because they have no Bitcoin to sell. Do not sell your Bitcoin.
They'll do the thing where they delay, where they say, "Oh yeah, you bought it, but we need a week to get it." They might tell you they need a month to get it or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see things like that happening, and that's where I could see. Uncle Cliff says that this Christmas is the $100,000 Bitcoin Christmas party, and I could see that happening, because once it runs like that and there is no more, it'll be just like the silver thing. Once that pops, that there is no more, that there is a true shortage of having something in your hand, in your possession, what is the price of it at that point? It's water in the desert at that point.
Yeah. I mean, where is the price going to go? And it's not dollar for dollar. So people talk, I've heard BlackRock has 40 billion that's going to be going into Bitcoin. So you can't look at it as that's going to move the market cap up by 40 billion. I think for every dollar, it moves the market cap up by $17.
Wow.
So you're talking about adding
That's a great number.
850 billion to the price, to the Bitcoin market cap, just from BlackRock, from their client demand. So 850 billion. That's about adding $45,000 or so to the Bitcoin price. So we're currently at 35,000. So that's a Bitcoin price of $80,000.
There you
That's
go.
not taken into consideration the halving. That's not taken into consideration the general demand from the general public. Remember, people want to buy assets as they're going up in price. Your friends that won't buy. Now, I yelled at you before. I said, hey, don't tell people, they have to buy. Don't get mad if we're not buying Bitcoin. But there's people that we mentioned it to, and they're gonna at $150,000. So now I want to buy Bitcoin. It's like, where were you at 20,000? Oh my God, or 25,000 or 35,000.
Yeah, it happens every time it runs. Every time it runs, my
demand goes higher. So
my
you're
Facebook Messenger kicks in.
And then you're talking about other ETFs, not just BlackRock. I mean, other companies' ETFs. Great GBTC. That's going to turn into an ETF. There's, I heard Fidelity is going to have an ETF. There's about 8 or 10 that will, at some point, will probably get approved. So the demand is going to be off the charts with a supply that's getting cut in half the beginning of next year. we are really in for something. And what does the world look like? I don't know. The world might not be looking too pretty. So, just buy your Bitcoin, know how to transact in Litecoin. I wouldn't be transacting in Bitcoin right now. I'd buy Bitcoin and tuck it away, and I would have some Litecoins to transact with. And that's what we're talking about. Have your Litecoin to use and have your Bitcoin to save right now. And that's how I save some Litecoin too, because Litecoin is extremely undervalued right now.
Yeah, the other thing Uncle Cliff said on his podcast last night was that there was a house that he's been keeping his eye on locally, and he talked to the realtor, and the house actually sold for Bitcoin, and it was like a $1.75 million home, and they took $900,000 worth of Bitcoin instead of 1.7 million USD. Because they understood the value of, they would rather have the Bitcoin in that. So that's the other thing. As the dollar is dying and people are the ones that do see what's coming in the future and do understand this hyperinflation that's headed our way, as China, the what are they called? The bonds come back or whatever, the treasury dollars or whatever. Like it will, I think it will all go so fast. And it's already going, but it's going to all
and the banks are squeezing the noose. I won't name the name because they probably get our channel shut down if we name the name of the bank, but where they used to monitor transactions $10,000 and above, somebody I know was notified yesterday. No, they're monitoring all transactions above $2,000 now. So it's like, wait a second. We've had all this inflation since the $10,000 threshold got put into place. Now, so that should be inflation adjusted for probably $40,000 where you would be the cutoff. Now you're monitoring everything over $2,000. That's basically every transaction for a business.
And Johnny, I would beg to differ or believe that they're doing the $600 thing, because like with my little eBay store, the minute I sold more than $600, boom, I had to send my 3-letter agency that threatens to throw people in jail if they don't submit information. So what they're saying they're reporting to is one thing, but what they're actually doing behind the door, you'll never know.
You'll never know.
You'll never know what they're telling, what they're sending in on you. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, thanks again. This is a great show. Good information. Make sure you're following Johnny on Twitter for all of his information. Make sure you go check out the people that we gave the shout outs to, 84million.com and the Wildcat Alliance as well. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for happy hour.
Thank you guys. See you guys next week.